Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name's Emma Fave, and today I'm going to show you how to paint some delicate flowers perfect for beginners. So let's jump in and get started. Okay friends, so today I wanted to paint some simple, delicate flowers that are perfect for beginners. I love doing little illustrations like this. I should do it more often. Maybe I'll continue this. But if you're a beginner, this is going to be perfect. We're going to make it simple, delicate, small, cute, and easy. So let's start. I am painting in my Etchrlab cold press watercolor sketchbook. It's just one of the ones with the white cover. I have my ultimate palette here, and I have a variety of brushes. I'm probably just going to use my size 8, which is like falling apart here, but that's okay. I just use it too often and I left it in water. It's fine. And we'll just kind of see how it goes from there. So you want a brush that has a really nice point so you can do the delicate fine lines. So I want to start off with something simple, and they don't even have to be real flowers. Like, you don't have to mirror them after anything specific. We just want to work on some of those tiny little strokes that resemble petals and produce really cute flowers. So I'm going to start off with like a pinky purpley color, because why not? And I want to do one of those kind of stocky-ish kind of flowers where, using just the tip of our brush, you're just going to create these tiny little rounded, like oval kind of petals. And you can make it a little bit bigger and more clustered together as we move down. So I want you to imagine this kind of line going down the middle, and you're just going to create these little petals going down, and there's going to be some separation between some of them. Some of them will be a bit more clustered together, and you're just using the tip of that brush to create these. And once we add the stem, it really makes it all kind of come together. Okay, you can skip a little bit. You might even add a little bit more pigment to some of them. You can tap in a little bit more darker pink, or water your brush down and have some lighter values like that, but super delicate and simple like that. Now I'm going to wash off my brush, and I'm going to take a green. You can use whatever green you like. I'm just going to use my olive green, and I'm simply just going to go from the bottom through the top. And because these petals are still wet, and my brush right now is still wet, if I touch any of those petals, you'll get a bit of a color bleed. So it might touch and then bleed into those petal colors, and that's okay. This one, if you can see, is kind of taking over all that pink. It's because I have more pigment on my brush and water, so it's kind of taking it all over. If you don't want that to happen, which is fine if it does, but if you don't want that to happen, just tap your brush on your paper towel to take off some of that extra water and pigment, and I'll just use less of it, and there's less of a chance of that happening. Now, if it does and you don't like it, you can always just kind of lift it up like that with your brush. But I kind of like a little bit of a color bleed. And then as we get to the top here, I'm going to do some little green buds, just tiny little dabs. And then some moving down where it's a little bit more sparse. So it looks like some haven't bloomed yet, like that, but it's just like this delicate, tiny little flower. You can have a little stem kind of coming off that main stem with a couple other little buds. And there you go. So simple. And you can add some leaves to it if you like. I don't even know what kind of leaves there would be. You could have long ones that kind of fold. I love doing leaves like this. So just using the pressure of your brush, so you have light pressure to make really thin lines, and then as you want a thicker line, you can press down a bit more, and then you can just kind of like bring your brush down and then lift very gently to get that thin line. You have these kind of curvy leaves, and they don't have to be perfect. I think they look better when they're not perfect. You know what I mean? They're kind of jagged and all that. So there's our first one. I really love it. I think it looks so cute and just delicate. And these are nice little details you could always add on a card or anything, bookmarks, whatever you like. So let's do another one that's kind of, I don't know, maybe even like, maybe like a poppy or something. So I'm going to grab some orange here and I'm just going to water it down. And I still want it to be kind of light and delicate, but they're going to have bigger petals. So they're a bit more jagged. So you don't have to do like a perfect petal like this at all. You don't want to do that. You want it a bit more square and then kind of coming in to a point here. So the ends can be nice and jagged. And we're actually going to leave, we're going to have it all kind of connect. And you really do whatever shape you like, because it can look like the petals are bending. Like we can have like it really thin over here and it just looks like the petals are bent up. Okay, then I'm going to grab a little bit more color. And I'm just going to add some more color into some of it. Like that. You can even grab another color, maybe a bit of pink or yellow or whatever you like. That would go nicely. Like that. And we're going to let that dry before we do the center, but we can do the stem. So you can grab a green, whatever green you like. Again, I'm just going to have my olive green, and I'm going to imagine the stem kind of piercing through the center of that stamen, so the center part. So imagine it coming out and then maybe curving a bit. Now, see how my green, I touched it so it bled right in there. Now, I don't mind that, but again, if you don't want that to happen, take your paper towel and lift it while it's still wet. We can come right back to it and make it a little bit more orange. I kind of want another one here. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to make this a little bit curvy. Okay, so I'm going to wash off my brush, dry it. I'm going to go back to my orange, and I'm just going to fill that back in. Maybe a little bit of pink. Make it a little bit darker. It's fine like that. And then I want to do another one here. So I'm just going to do maybe like more of a side view, like where you see the bottom. So think of like a bowl shape with these like jagged tops. Like it's more flat at the top. And again, you can grab your color, a bit more orange, a bit more pink, whatever you like, and just tap it in there. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to do just a little bit of leaves. So these are more like poppies, like I said, so they have these like kind of jagged leaves. So I'm really letting my brush kind of do its thing. I'm just doing these jagged leaves. I'm just making the stem a little bit darker. Just these jagged little leaves like this. Okay. And I want this to be dry before I continue. I wonder if, is it still wet? I want to lift some of the color too. I feel like it's a little bit too dark. It's still a bit wet. So I'm going to lift some of that color. Just using my wet, damp brush. And I lift it. Okay, so let's let that dry for a second and then we can just do a little bit more detail to it. Okay, so for this one, I want to have kind of like a lime green center. So I'm just taking a little bit of green and adding yellow. And I'm just going to put that in the center there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my yellow that's a little bit more on the opaque side, so like my cadmium yellow. And I'm just going to do these little dots and lines. So lines coming off the green and then dots at the end. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of my orange while it's, I'm not going to touch the center, but I'm just going to do these little kind of lines. I'm going to take off some of that pigment just so it's not too dark and just do these lines down the petals, which gives it a little bit more movement and a little bit more texture. Maybe this one's folded, so I'm just going to make it darker on that side. You can even do it with pink if you want. This one, the lines are going to be coming to the base here. Like that. And then final touch, I'm just going to grab a little bit more of the dark green and just tap the bottom of that center just to make it stand out a little bit more. And that's it. Simple, simple poppy. Nice, small, and delicate. Okay, our next flower, I kind of want to do some like loose, like violets or something. So I love this purple color over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do these really simple, almost like butterfly wing shapes. Like that. I'm going to grab a darker blue and then for the bottom, or darker purple. Like that. And then maybe tap it in like so. That looks a little funny. That's okay. Okay, then I'm going to do maybe another, just kind of like these simple butterfly wing shapes. And they don't have to be perfect at all. And tap in the darker color, like so. You can even add some pink in there if you want. But like less detail is more. And then I'm going to grab my green again. And I'm just going to do these simple little stems coming from the back. And then our leaves. So just curving our brush, creating these simple little leaves. Like that. So simple and cute. Honestly, so easy to do. They almost look kind of like sweet peas, which I love. Okay. And then we're going to do 3 more on this side, but I want to make sure that this is dry first. Okay, so I'm going to move over to this side now. And I think there's these really cute wildflowers that are kind of like pinky purple that I see, and I'm going to try and do them. So I'm going to start kind of like with a cone shape first. Like that. Not a cone shape, like a rounded, like gumdrop shape almost. I'm trying not to make it perfect or anything. I'm going to do another one here. Like that. Then I'm going to take a little bit more color. I'm going to add a little bit of purple in there. I'm just going to tap the bottom side, like the right side, and then around the bottom a bit, like that, and just let it bleed. Okay. Then I'm going to grab a green. I'm going to grab this like cobalt turquoise green, and I'm going to do these little bottoms to the leaves right at the base, and then a stem, and then a stem on this one, and then another round of leaves kind of halfway. I'm going to actually mix this cobalt turquoise with my olive green. And I'm going to do these fluffier leaves halfway. Like that, just very loose. Like that. Okay. And I want that to completely dry. So actually, while it's drying, let's do another one because then we can come right back to that. Okay, so now I want to do kind of like a freesia, but not. I don't know. I'm going to use some yellow, just the same kind of shape, and some of that orange color. And I'm going to really loosely, I want you to think of kind of like a curve. So I'm going to start with like bigger petals this way. And then it's going to get smaller and smaller like this. Actually bigger over this way. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. Like so, and then a little bit more like orangey kind of red, just a tap like that. Okay, then I'm going to get some green. I'm going to use a darker green. Why not? And I'm going to bring the stem up like this, and it's going to kind of curve right under it, and then I'm just going to gently touch it and bring a stem down from each of the little flowers like that, and then do little buds at the top like that. Then we're just going to do some leaves like that and like that. And that's it. Honestly, so simple, but like look how cute and delicate that is. Okay, like that. And then our last flower, I'm trying to decide where I want to go with this. I'm trying to think of some of the flowers that I see on my walks that I absolutely love. I think I want to do maybe like little, do I want to do like dandelions maybe? Let's try it like a dandelion, even though I know it's not like a flower, it's a weed. I'm going to start with a light wash of like a bright yellow. And I'm just going to do these lines kind of going in a circle, leaving some white space in between. And then I'm going to do another one where it's only maybe half. Then I'm going to grab a different yellow, which is a little bit warmer, and just tap it in there just a little bit. And we're going to do a bit more to it after as well. I know it's really bright, kind of hard to see. I'm going to take my green. I'm going to just take my, what green do I want? Whatever green. And I'm just going to do a little stem. Actually, they kind of are like pinky, brownish green stems. Like that. And then this one, because it's the side view, it has a little bit of a bulb underneath. Okay. So I just add a little bit of pink to my green. It makes it a little bit more brown. And then the leaves can be brighter green. So I'm going to use my olive green. And they're like jagged kind of like that. Okay, so to do that, I do my first initial like line down the middle. And then I'm just going to press and drag to get these kind of jagged edges. Like so. Like that. And you can always add a darker green in there if you want. Up to you. Okay, and then we are going to do two more things to these. I just need them to dry quickly. I'm wondering if I should do like a little honorable mention like of a flower, because they're so much fun to do and so cute. I kind of want to do just like a little forget-me-not of some sort. So just feel like this page needs a little bit of blue. So I'm just going to take my Cobalt Blue and I'm just going to do even lighter than that. Maybe even add some white to it. You don't have to add white, but I want to add white. I'm just going to do these tiny little blue flowers. Like that. Maybe not even all the way around, like they don't have to be 5 petals forward facing. You can do one petal that's a little scooped like that so it looks like it's tilted. So you can do 1, 2, 3, and then just like a little scoop. And that just helps it look like it's tilted. Maybe one that's not very open yet. It's the beginning of a bud. Then I'm going to grab some green and just very lightly have a stem where they all connect. And then just like a little, I don't even know what forget-me-not leaves look like, but we're doing some tiny little leaves like this. Like that. And then we'll do a little bit of yellow in the center once that's dry. So let's make sure these are dry before we finish them off. Okay, so going back to this one, I'm going to grab my pinky purple and I'm just going to create these little spikes, especially on this side. So it's a little bit darker on this side where we had our shadow. Like that. Okay, so I'm applying it to the right side and the bottom kind of. Just using the tip of my brush to do these kind of like little spikes. Then I'm going to wash off a lot of that pigment and just do like the faintest little lines just so it has texture on the other side too. And if you want to go even deeper with your shadow, you can make it just a little bit darker, especially at the bottom right. Like that. And then I might just grab a little bit of a dark green and just kind of darken some of the leaves right at the base. Like so. And it just elevates it just a little bit. Okay, we can do that to a bunch of these leaves. Okay, and then our dandelion here, I'm going to grab a warmer yellow. So I'm just mixing a little bit of orange with my yellow. And I'm just going to do another little round of spikes kind of going around that circle. Just so you give it a little bit of variation in color so it's not all one flat color like that. Super simple. And then lastly, our little forget-me-nots here, you can just do a little dot of yellow in the center. And that's it. That's honestly it. If you wanted to add a little bit more to the violets, you could take your dark purple and just do a couple little lines. Okay, you could do a little bit of the dark green on the base there. Up to you, but that's about it. And there are our simple, delicate, cute beginner flowers. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on all my other platforms for tons more content. Have a great day, guys. Bye.